hop.
Well, hello. I bet you guys thought I had fallen off the face of the planet. Well, I landed in California, and it's been quite a interesting journey, and I guess maybe I'll go into that another time. But anyway, it's Christmas time, and I've just now gotten myself kind of into a spot where I can start doing stuff. So I wanted to show you guys, in the last month I picked up a whole bunch of stuff. There's lots of flea markets out here, I have to say. It's nice. Anyway, so I will go ahead and start here. First thing I want to show you is this box, which I will get to shortly. The next thing I want to show you is my twins, well, siblings. Here, let me bring this down. Hopefully that music isn't too loud. It's down pretty low. So you were looking at the one on the left is a 1948 48-475 from Philco, and the one on the right is a 1948 482 from Philco. These are both AM/FM sets. And the 475 here on the left, oops. Oh, I guess I'm down as far as it'll go. Okay, so the 475 here on the left, if you'll look, it only has AM and FM, modern FM. And I think if you're astute there, you'll kind of notice that I believe that front panel there, if you can see that smudge mark, I think that is a photo finish, which is going to be an interesting challenge. Anyway, so next door here we have the 482, which is AM, FM, and shortwave. The 482 apparently outsold the 475 4-1. Obviously, the 475 didn't win any beauty contests. But they have very similar circuits. The 482 has the older FM circuitry. It has the FM 1000, for example. And the 475 uses 7-pin tubes. So I think, well, I don't know, I'll go into that later, but anyway, that's those two. And as you probably noticed in the background, you know, eventually it was going to be inevitable that televisions creeped into the picture. So what you're looking at here is the blue one I got for free, and the little ivory colored one wasn't free, even though that one's more beat up. And I'll explain a little more about, well, the white one I picked up at the flea market, where I actually picked up, if you'll notice over there too, there is an 8Y P4 110 degree test picture tube. And actually, funny thing, if you'll notice on the chair there's a second one. I bought them both in the same day. I paid 20 bucks for the pair. And the reason why I ended up with two is the one on the chair, I didn't even think about it when I first picked it up, does not have the test socket that goes on it. And I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but I'll show you guys later. The second one on the floor there has several of the test sockets. So anyway, I ended up with both of them. I paid 10 bucks each, but one had the socket, so I didn't need the tube, but it's not like he was going to sell me the test sockets. Anyhow, they both test good, by the way. And I also had picked up a CRT tester, a B&K 467. So I got the blue radio first, and I guess I was kind of silly because I thought the little ivory one I thought was the same size, but it's not. One's 14 and one's 17. However, they both have good picture tubes. They both have identical circuits, and they are not series string sets. They are transformer sets. The only difference between the two, and it's going to bug me because there's probably no real rhyme or reason for it, but the little 14-inch set uses a 6A. It uses a different rectifier. It doesn't use the 5U4G. The one on the blue one does. However, the rectifier it uses is interchangeable with the 5U4G. All the other tubes are identical, so it's going to bug me wondering why they did that. And there probably wasn't really a rhyme or reason except for the fact that they probably had a ton of both tubes. And anyway, so what else? I did have, after the fire, we're coming up on almost a year from the fire, so it took me a while. I had to end up building my bench, and since it's bugging me here, Agnes is coming into the picture because she wants to steal some attention. And now she's going to pretend that I'm not calling her name. So we're going to watch her do silly cat things to go over to her water bowl. Anyhow. So I had to build a new bench, and of course nobody made anything I wanted, so the table I bought as a kit, and the hutch I put together myself. As you can see, I ended up with some new test equipment. Oh, that Zenith 6D510 is another pickup item I got. I got that for $15. And actually it's slightly askew out of the case there, and you can actually see the knobs right in front of the Brasso. I also picked up that those rabbit ears there for $1. Alright, so as you can see, I do still have my Variac / isolation transformer. I built that little box with the round gauges in there. It takes up a lot of space, but at any rate, I got rid of my little brown box. I still have my signal generator. I now have a Sencor LC102 to supplement my 52, is it? Oh, 53. Because the 53 didn't want to work when I first got it here. It didn't move very well. The movers I had out, that's another long story, and they broke a couple of my radios, but I guess we'll just have fun putting those back together. And I ended up with a digital oscilloscope a friend of mine had. Now it's a Rigol DS1054, but it's got a software hack in it, so it's actually 100 megahertz instead of 50. And he bought it, didn't like it, so I ended up buying it off of him for $250, but it's still under warranty, so that's good. I got a couple of new boxes here instead of my big gray one, so I have more surface area. And I just got an order in from Mouser. So anyway, that's my new work area. Alright, and then I'm also going to have to get back to that box, but another thing I picked up is you'll have to pardon these boxes. This is my stuff that I have no place to put. My speakers, my stereo equipment, and actually that Mouser box there is all the parts to put together a small amp, which is an upcoming project. So what I need to do here is build some shelves and a bookshelf so I can also put my radios on. What I wanted to show you is I picked this reel-to-reel tape up at Goodwill for 20 bucks. And it works, though it does need new filter caps because they're off and they're known bad. And I bought a belt kit for it, so that's an upcoming video. Apparently I need to dust. Alright, and Agnes is running around trying to get attention. So, anyway, the 315 made it mostly, but if you look at that white spot right there, a chunk chipped off. So, not too happy about that, but I do have the chunk. And that chunk had broken off before, and the previous owner had glued it back on, so you'll see here a parts chassis I picked up, which actually turns out to be a 39-7. So that's kind of interesting because I still have my 39-7 and it still doesn't work. So anyway, what else? Let's see here. Okay. So here we are to the box, and you can see my 3D printer there in the background and all of my little photo facts for everything here. I'm going to open that box in a little bit, but what I wanted to do here is, well, I'm going to move that box, so I will be right back. Ta-da! Alright, so I picked up this from the guy I got the blue TV from. This is a 1963 or 64, I haven't figured it out yet, Philco Town & Country 19-inch black and white TV. And I did order the photo fact for it. And the model number is a 14. And if I'm not sure, because Philco, I think, started on their TV, started numbering them forward from 1950, but I don't know if 1950 was 1 or if 1951 was 1. So it's either a 63 or a 64. If the tubes inside are any indication, the ones that are still look like the original Philcos, there's a couple of them left, but they all have date codes of the middle of 1963, so it could very well be a late year 63. The person I got it from wasn't sure because he was pretty young when his parents had gotten the TV, and it had a lot of love on it, but he does remember that it seemed to break a lot. So the picture tube, it has been replaced with a rebuilt. There's a sticker on it that explains that it's the original envelope, but all the internals had been replaced, and it's been replaced and rephosphorized according to the sticker. So instead of being a Philco tube, it has been rephosphorized and rebuilt to be a Sylvania Silver Screen 85, I think was what they call those. Anyhow, it tests good, and it did work. It had a raster, but unfortunately, people try to kill me whenever I have a car full of radios and stuff. So this thing, even though I had it strapped in, I had to make some emergency avoidance maneuvers and slam on the brakes, so the blue TV and the Philco banged into each other quite hard, and one of the feet broke off the Philco, and the trim on the side has popped off, and there are 6 bolts that hold the front on, and 3 of those popped off, so they're going to have to be glued. So of course I can't have anything nice. Anyhow, so I'm going to I guess pause this for now because I want to open that box. I'll be back.